Hey there, Jake and Megan Friedel with Southern Denver Living, your guide to the Denver metropolitan area real estate. We help people like you every day find their perfect place.
And on our YouTube channel here, we do that by breaking down neighborhoods, pros and cons, giving you tours. But today we are diving into Reddit. We're gonna look at what they are saying on Reddit, the source of gossip itself, to find out why people hate or love Highlands Ranch.
Mostly hate.
That's pretty interesting.
So let's dive in. I got some funny ones here. Okay, so this is on the threads Suburban Hell. So you know they've got some hate, but I found it kind of funny. It's a picture of the Highlands Ranch community and it says, "What the hell is this atrocity?" Oh no! Colorado suburbia is particularly offensive to me. Like, you have some of the most spectacular scenery in the country and the potential for some truly amazing towns, yet you keep building this car-dependent suburban garbage. And another guy tacks on later, he says, you've got these 6-lane roads and they're massive and there's no traffic on them.
You know, I will say we are very dependent on our cars here in the Denver metropolitan area. When people visit me from like Chicago or Boston or whatever, there's lots of great public transportation in those cities. It's not so great here. We have a light rail system. It's got a couple of branches that go out. It goes to the airport. That's really nice. But other than that, you're pretty heavily car dependent here.
Yeah, I mean, you were telling me earlier, you don't feel like it cuts down any time by taking the light rail. It's really just like if you want to not drink and drive and you want to get a safe ride somewhere, or save some money by not taking an Uber, but outside of that, it's not really doing too much for you out here.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken the light rail a handful of times, and as my children exhaust my ability to enjoy drinking.
Really?
It's just like, why would I do that? I'm just driving myself safely home anyway. So, not that into it myself, totally get the complaint.
Yeah.
But about the roads, so he's complaining about these giant roads with no traffic on them. This person is clearly missing the traffic, which good for him. But traffic in Highlands Ranch revolves around school time instead of normal rush hour traffic. So super busy from like 7:45 to 9-ish, and then probably 2:45 to 3:45. Those are the big traffic times. And on those times, I'm super grateful for our giant, wide 6-lane roads.
Yeah, I mean, and the parking spots are like that too. Like, you can unload your big van with all your kids. You open the doors all the way. You've got like the space. I was at Park Meadows Mall the other day, and this lady is like trying to get out of her car, and she's acting like she's in this little space. I'm looking at this giant parking space and just going, "Oh, sweet girl, don't go to Denver."
You belong in the suburbs, baby, in your giant suburban vehicle.
Yes, but I love it. I love the extra space, but you know.
It's kind of like, in driving the roads here, it's kind of like that old episode of Seinfeld where Kramer adopts a highway and he paints down the dotted line and he turns a 3-lane highway into a 2-lane highway. Totally dating myself with the reference there, but it's cushy,
like
it's nice.
Day.
Every day of my life, I'm like, plenty of space.
I love that. All right, this one, who the F designs this crap? And someone says, rich white people. Here, this one says, sometimes I'd find myself driving into a part of a subdivision in the afternoon thinking, wasn't I just here this morning? Nope, it all just looks exactly the same. The houses, the intersections, they have these setups where all the intersecting streets are named the same things. It's true. I wouldn't have survived without a GPS. That is very true. I have my map up all the time. I've lived here for many years now. And, you know, because you're on the road, you're going east to west. All of a sudden now you're going north. It's the same road. They're all just swooping around.
Oh yeah, when I give people directions to my house, it's like, take a left on Clairton, and then a right on Clairton, and then a right on Clairton, and then a right on Clairton, and then you're there.
But really, like, who doesn't have their map up anymore, looking at that all the time? And
it's a crutch. It's absolutely a crutch.
But yeah, and most of Colorado is a grid system, right? So we're a little funky.
Well, and yeah, and when I drive through the neighborhoods, you know, you can tell the difference by the landscaping. Like, the houses may be the exact same, but the landscaping in my neighborhood is gorgeous, so.
Well, later in this thread, they say little houses on the hilltop.
Little boxes made of ticky-tacky.
Yeah, that's true for all of the suburbs, though. Like, that's not unique to Highlands Ranch. That's Castle Rock, that's Parker, that's suburbs in all over the U.S., you know?
And you know what? None of the houses are Pepto-Bismol pink, and there's not like 40 cars that are half fixed in front of anybody's driveway. It's great.
Okay, one commenter says, okay, but seriously, does anyone have any articles or whatever on the legit thought process of whatever goes into all the windy craziness? Like, does it allegedly make people feel more calm, less connected? Why are they so windy? And I've always heard that that is to help keep through traffic from coming through your neighborhood. You can't like do a shortcut to pop through somebody's neighborhood to get somewhere faster, so you don't have traffic coming through. And this whole time we've been talking, there hasn't been a single car that's driven by, so.
Yeah, that's totally true. It's great. I appreciate the thoughtfulness behind that, because especially like the way that neighborhoods are when they're not just on this north, south, east, west grid, is it varies the sizes of the backyards too. So you have these kind of unique lots where, you know, in my neighborhood, like the smallest lot size is like 0.12 acres, right? Which is very small. That's like, I don't know, it's maybe like a 5,000, 6,000 square foot lot, which is perfect for an older couple who don't want to do a lot of yard work. But there's also a half-acre lot here that you could have your own like miniature farm on, which is, that's where I'm heading next. So.
Yeah, I mean, mine is set up where like kind of a pie shape, and I really wanted that because it just kind of put my neighbors a little further away from me. Some people wouldn't like their yard being that shape, so it kind of gives you a little bit of diversity in the cookie cutter burbs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Megan likes the pizza point. I like the crust.
Yeah. All right, this person says, seems like they bothered to mow down all the grass in between the houses, making the entire place a massive lawn with houses on it, -1 for biodiversity. And then someone retaliates, which is exactly what I would say, is we have so much open space with native grasses for a suburb. Like, I get environmental atrocities in our front yards, it is. But in our backyards, we've got so many places of open space compared to most suburbs, I'd say.
Oh yeah, if you're driving around Highlands Ranch, it's just like every other neighborhood, there's a massive green space and it's all planted. Like it's not planted, it's just natural grass and yucca and any of the bushes and wildflowers that grow through. All right, my turn. Let me read one. Ludicrous, nose distinct, poor spoon, desert, encourage, childlike. What is this person even talking about? What is this?
I think that's an AI bot, dude.
Oh.
Oh, Jake, you're gonna have a lot to say about this one. This guy says, anyone know how a city like that is supposed to sustain itself? I looked on Redfin, a house for 1.2 mil, had a property tax of $400 a month. How is that even enough to maintain the roads, fire department, or schools there? Is the state picking up the rest of the slack here? And one person says, Highlands Ranch is not a city, it's an HOA.
Okay, let's talk about this because these are both misinformed. So Highlands Ranch does have one of the biggest HOAs like in the country. It's pretty massive. But Highlands Ranch is actually a township, and we are in a part of unincorporated Douglas County. So being a township means like we don't have a lot of the typical infrastructures of a city. Like there's not a mayor here. And also we don't have some overhead that a lot of other places do. So we're unincorporated, so that gets rid of some overhead generally on the taxes. Some of our taxes are actually stipended by sales tax, which is still one of the lowest in the Denver metropolitan area. Sales tax in Highlands Ranch is right around 8%. Denver's more like 9.5%, so we're still doing great there. But Douglas County is incredibly efficiently run. Like as a sort of, if you looked at it like a business, it is just a well-run business with, you know, no frills, and there's just not waste, there's not a lot of wastage. The other thing is, if you look at the difference between Highlands Ranch and Douglas County, the taxes are pretty significantly different there. And the reason being is that Castle Rock, Castle Rock is a little newer than Highlands Ranch. So Highlands Ranch is a little more established. When you establish a giant neighborhood, first of all, we were developed by Shea Homes, and it was like the same development that developed Mission Viejo in California. So these folks knew what they were doing, they had a master plan, they exacted it really effectively and efficiently, and the bonds that they took out to establish all the infrastructure were pretty low. That, and because we've been around so long, most of the bonds are paid off. So Castle Rock's a little newer, a lot of their bonds are newer, and therefore their taxes are still higher than ours.
You're saying Castle Rock is newer? Because there's places in Castle Rock that are like way older than anywhere in Highlands Ranch.
That's true. So there are probably some older homes in Castle Rock. The oldest home in Highlands Ranch is the Highlands Ranch Mansion, which has been rebuilt many times, and it's a giant spectacle now. But the thing about Castle Rock is that outside of the tiny little area where some of those really old homes are, the suburban space that feels like suburb of Castle Rock is all much newer. So Castle Rock was this tiny little town, and then Highlands Ranch was developed into this massive thing, and then Castle Rock started getting like the overflow. So the majority of Castle Rock is still newer than Highlands Ranch.
Okay, because when you go to Castle Rock, I mean, you can have the same price property and the taxes are not quite double, but they're quite a bit higher.
Yeah, they're like probably 1.4, 1.5%.
But all of our friends in Texas are watching this and just like laughing at us because our property taxes here are way better than a lot of places, or, you know, way lower.
Typical taxes on a $700,000 home in Highlands Ranch are probably right around $4,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's someone saying nice, someone coming in to defend our little area. I live here, my house is pictured, just moved from Littleton. It's only been a few months so far, but honestly, it feels just too good to be true. I wake up every day like someone pinched me. This can't be real life, but it is. It feels so safe and so clean. I keep waiting for the catch or for all my neighbors to turn into robots or something. It's kind of weird. I love that because I had my perceptions about Highlands Ranch before moving here because we're not from here. We're from Colorado, but we didn't grow up in Highlands Ranch, and I definitely had this kind of like uppity, uptight, I don't know, but I moved here and I kind of felt the same way. I was just like, everywhere I went, there was this beautiful walking trail with views of the mountains, and everything was so clean, and there was a park in every little corner. And then I went to the rec centers, and that felt just like so cool. And then I got older and had kids, and we're taking them to the library and had this like amazing community of women. So that comment resonates with me. Sometimes I feel like pinch me, it can't be real, but
yeah, and I think a lot of folks move here and they're worried, or they don't move here because they're worried about like a Stepford Wives sort of situation. And like, yeah, if Stepford Wives, you know, wore yoga pants and had a great community and all had jobs, like, yeah, it's totally Stepford Wives, except it's not.
yeah. But I get their, you know, I get their perception because I kind of had the same thing, but Oh man. All right, this one says, safe, great for kids. Unfortunately, not one decent restaurant. Just boring chains, mediocre food. I wish someone would stir things up and open something fab. You say this all the time. What's your comment about what kind of restaurants we have? We have
like 1 billion pretty good breakfast restaurants.
Yeah, this one's real, but we do have some stuff close by. We've featured in our other videos, we featured Angelo's. That's a really fun spot. It's not Highlands Ranch, but it's a quick drive. We featured all of our coffee shops. We have a whole coffee shop tour. And then, you know, with Heartbeat, your podcast, you've interviewed every little business in Highlands Ranch. You know, we're stacking them up, and there's a lot of cool mom and pop shops, but ultimately they're right.
They're on their way though, actually, because Lone Tree, I used to think Lone Tree was just another part of Highlands Ranch, but Lone Tree is kind of becoming its own much bigger thing these days. And Lone Tree is a 12-minute drive for me. There's a ton of restaurants in the Park Meadows Mall, and now they're expanding into like all of their new development. They're doing kind of some more work, play, live developments, and the restaurants are coming in there. There's tons of restaurants up north at like I-25 and Arapahoe. There's the Pindustry area. There's lots of cool stuff up there. And don't forget about Sierra on Ridgegate Parkway, our favorite date night spot. We're always there.
Yeah, and you know us, we're always going more casual, so we hit Lazy Dog. They've got a good happy hour. I will admit, it's very like Cheesecake Factory-esque menu. It's not like the most gourmet of foods, but it's a good atmosphere if you want to like bring your kids or just go grab a drink.
I actually slummed it at Lazy Dog the other day, and I thought the food quality was super good. And you know, it's like bar food, but it's high quality.
Yeah, I like Lazy Dog. What else do we go to? You know, Breckenridge Brewing, that's Littleton, but that's an awesome place. We've also talked about that in some of our other videos. There's some good gems. But
Smokin' Fins is, I think, underrated. Like, it's not fancy, but it's consistent. The quality's high. They have creative dishes. They switch it up. There are 3 of them across the Denver metro area, so it's like a local small chain.
Yeah, I mean, Postino's isn't, you know, mom and pop either, but that is like, Postino's hit Highlands Ranch and it blew up because we were dying for something cool. And so they did what this Reddit user said, and they did open up one thing, fab, and then they stopped.
Troy Guard, if you see this, please bring a restaurant to Highlands Ranch. We are begging you.
All right, this one is really cool. We like it a lot. It's safe, it's beautiful, it's family friendly. People from other places in the Denver area make fun of us though because it's urban, uber suburban bubble. I don't mind that at all. I mean, yeah, people call Highlands Ranch the bubble.
We do, we call it the bubble here, and it's basically the reason why people move here and stay here.
Yeah. I mean, people made fun of me too. I was like 25 when I moved to Highlands Ranch, so all my friends were in Denver and they were like, don't do it, it's the bubble. But I did, and I never looked back.
I think that's a great place to wrap it for the day, because that's how we feel about Highlands Ranch. We love it here. So hey, we are professional real estate agents with 15 years of experience in the Denver metropolitan area. We help people like you find their place every day. So if you're interested in more about Highlands Ranch or any of the South Denver metro area, please use the QR code, book a call with us, subscribe to our channel for more.
Thanks guys, we'll see you next time.